So here we are turned around. Please forgive the debris. This is what remains of the greenhouse. So it was a very typical looking tunnel with one piece of plastic. We had rebar on each side every 5 feet. So what we have here is, so this is a couple of bags of Vermont soil that I had opened and was working in the greenhouse on. The first piece of rebar was in the ground right, oh, hi Coco, that's Coco, right here. So you can see that it just pulled it right up and ripped it right out of the rebar, and we'll see where that piece of rebar is here in a minute. And then over here is where the second piece was. It's right around here somewhere. Hi Coco. Our border collie puppy is chasing them, and so they're worked up. These canals here are extra canals that we had that were not in place. That was my planter that I had just filled with soil, and it's now all over. So anyway, then we have one piece of rebar in, and this piece of rebar, the reason I think the pipe is still on it is because I didn't have a screw in place on it. We had some issues with the screws. So, and then we have another piece of rebar, I think one ripped out. And then right here, so you can see a board that was used as a support. This one board did not have the wiggle wire screwed in yet. This was this corner didn't have the wiggle wire screwed in on the brace. It was the only one. But everything else is in place here, you can see. So this one is still in place. And yes, and this is licorice. Hi, licorice. So if you look up here, so this is one of the ends. The canal stayed screwed to the end. You can see where that piece though, that corner bent really well. So the only pieces that bent are the side panels on this tunnel. And this is Farmer's Friend, this is chain link. So the piece that is this is a Gothic tunnel. So it had a peak, and this is the peak right here. I don't know if you can tell. That's the peak right there, and you can tell because the center supporting post that goes all the way over there to bent like mad is in place right there. So that's actually supposed to be bent, and it is still bent as it was intended. So that is kind of nice. But this piece here stayed completely. Now this one did not have a brace on it, now that I say this. So this end piece that has the peak right here didn't have a brace on it, but all of the other pieces had this lengthy brace. None of these braces, by the way, were bent at all either. So the parts that had no damage are the wiggle wire canals are still in place. The pipe here that is the bent Gothic tips and the braces have no damage to them. And then also the short pieces that went over the rebar to hold, they all look actually like they're fine. They're just, some of them are in different places, but that's all. And then here is the corner brace on it. So it slid up. It got pulled up a little, which is interesting because it's still really tight there. And the second pole that was up, it's still connected to. So I mean, but it's still in place there. And there's no damage to that pole, so that's definitely going to be salvageable. So here we have more wooden bracing. So now here too this is wiggle wire that was on the end, and you can see that the wire stayed in place and the plastic just tore out. Except for that one here, the wiggle wire came out, and the wiggle wire on that other side, obviously the wire came out with leaving all the canals in place. So then we have, oh, I'm bumping into broken wire here. So then we have, I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera a lot, it's very bright out here. So then we have plastic that stayed in the wiggle wire that was in the wood support down here. That corner brace is still in place as well and not damaged, which is nice. So here we see the wiggle wire was ripped out. So the canals, like I said, stayed in place. Now here, actually here, right here, it looks like a canal was ripped out. That board that's laying there, I think, was an extra board that we had just laying there. It wasn't connected to anything. So the canal did rip off of this board, and this board that ripped off, you can see screws there, but that canal is gone as well. So we'll probably find it here in a second. So, and then of course the braces just all look like a big puzzle piece here. It's a little bit Epcot Center-y kind of thing, but that one point up there really high is probably 15 feet into the air, which is kind of interesting. My new tables that I built inside here, they look okay on their side, but yeah, not bad. Just kind of pleased about that. And once again, the rebar did rip out. Now this here spot, it left a big old hole, which is kind of funny when it ripped the rebar out. Other than that, it's just the little holes that the rebar went straight into on this leveled area. So then we have this, so this is what remains. The wind clearly came up the slope, hit the tunnel, and just pushed it kind of over into this corner and into this area. And I wish I had a picture of what it looked like originally. So here we have plastic. We have the rope that, bless its heart, tried its best. We have cocoa in the way. We have so here's one of the bracing boards with the canal still in place. The canal looks good, wireless still looks good. Plastic obviously destroyed. So there, right there is one of the end poles with the rebar that was in the ground. So you can actually see how much the rebar was in the ground. And it just ripped it right out. It was like, nope. So the goats are checking this out. They like everything I'm doing here. So anyway, some of the side pieces still look okay. But right here, so you can see, this is, okay, now this is one of the Gothic pieces that actually bent, not the side piece. So one of the Gothic ends is what bent and went into this area here. I don't know if you can kind of see that. So the side piece is actually in good shape there. It's the tip piece that bent on that one. And let's go over here really quick and look at this. See, now on this one, it's both of them that bent. So I was wrong about that. It isn't that the Gothic ends stayed in good shape. That one's kind of in decent shape, but it might require a little reshaping. The end there is shot. So we'll have to figure that out. All the shelves are all over the place. It looks good, really. So anyway, so it looks like we'll be able to salvage some pieces. The plastic clearly is not salvageable. It is completely shredded and destroyed. It's comically shredded and destroyed, actually. My end piece that was on one end was a zippered door that I had open, actually, at the time. Here's one of the braces completely. Oh, now there's a wiggle wire canal that is all bent up and had been ripped out of the board. That's probably that one board that's still in place. And then here we have, so this here, oh, so this is the canal, this is the board that canal came off of. So I guess it is, we have a little bit of damage of everything. We've got pieces that were holding pipes in place, the little metal straps ripped out. We've got some canals ripped out, some canals that look good. The boards, I'd say, are all lost though. And there's another piece of end piece with a little piece of rebar sticking out of the end. So that one, the rebar, it looks like slid into the side a little bit more. But anyway, so it's interesting. If I can salvage half of the materials, I think that would be a stretch. I don't think I'll be able to salvage half of them. But it certainly is interesting. I thought it was like a little twisty thing. Look at the rope everywhere. The rope was like, I tried, Mom. I tried. I really did. There's only so much I could do. But so much debris everywhere that will have to be cleaned up. There are actually some plants that my husband grabbed and put away in the house, and then also some that are on the ground over there under that plastic. The garlic got a little tousled about here. That one looks really good though. Pipes are still in place, so yay, pipes. Anyway, that is my my greenhouse status as of today.